Hello guys, and welcome back to another class of our course about the complete introduction to data science. So we saw many things in the past few classes, and in today's course we are going to talk about data analysis and about pandas. So basically, we are going in today's class, more specifically, we are going to have a complete introduction to pandas and talk about, what is it, what is data analysis, the concept of data analysis, and make a quick recap of what we can do with Python. And we are gonna have in this part of the course, not in this class, but in the few next classes, we're gonna learn how to use pandas like we did for the past Python program that we learned a little bit before. All right, so let's start. So basically, it's important to understand the basics of Python before jumping inside of pandas. And for that, we will make a quick recap of what we saw at the beginning of the course. So basically, Python can have many applications such as web development, simple programming for different programs. For example, it could be for machine learning. It could be, for example, for, I don't know, in many fields. It could be in security. It could be in finances. It could be in many different fields. But it can also be in research and analysis. So basically in data analysis. And this is exactly what we are going to talk about in this part of the course. And we are going to learn some tools that can be really, really useful for this, to be able to do this part of the course. So basically to be able to do data analysis. So here are some things that you guys can do with Python. So as you can see, development, research, analysis, data science, and many others. There is no security here, so there are many other things that you can do with Python. All right, so in understanding data analysis, so basically the first thing that we need to talk about when we're talking about data analysis is the data lifecycle, since data analysis is part of the data lifecycle. So what you will see in, if for example you guys are looking for the data lifecycle, is that you will see plenty of different things like this that will show you different data life cycles. They're all correct, so there is no correct or incorrect thing that represents well the data life cycle. Some of them will have 7, like this one right here. Others will have 6. Some of them will have 5. But at the end of the day, it's pretty much the same thing, just with different names and different things inside of it. So basically, it's just different names. But at the end of the day, it's the same thing. A word that will always come inside of those representations will be the analyzing part, since the analysis of the data is one of the most important things that you guys can do. Because when you analyze data, you transform this data. So you take raw data and you will transform it, because the analysis part is where the data is transformed. So you take everything, you are able to take all the raw data and transform it into data that you can use later to answer different questions, or for research purposes, or for any other purposes that you can that you want, basically. So it's pretty much explained here. So you have your data, you make your analysis, and at the end you are able to answer to your basic question, so to your first question, or simply make some discoveries. Even if it doesn't answer your question, you are able to make some discoveries just by analyzing this data. So basically, what is data analysis? So it's to perform data analysis with Python, it's really important to use. So as I explained data analysis a little bit before, now it's important to understand how we can perform it with Python. To be able to perform data analysis with Python, we will use a special model called Pandas. And this is exactly what we will talk about right now. So basically, Pandas is one of few models that, few of many models that exist with Python. And basically, it's a software that is used for data manipulation and data analysis. It's Panda is built on different other applications such as NumPy, SciPy, and Matplotlib. So as I explained to you guys a little bit before, Matplotlib is used for data visualization. So basically to represent charts, to represent graphs, and to represent many other things. So basically to represent your data. And it's also used, and NumPy and SciPy, are the fundamental packages for scientific manipulation. Scientific computing, sorry. So basically, it's important to understand that Pandas is really a whole, it works with all those applications. And there are plenty of benefits of using Pandas. So basically, here you can find some of them. And as I said, really there is a lot of different things that you guys can do with by using Pandas. So the first one right here, as you can see, will be more done for less coding. So basically you don't have to code that much with Pandas to be able to write down the exact same thing. So basically there is less coding. It's really created to work with Python. So it's not only created to work with Python, it's made for Python. So this is another really good advantage of it. There is an extensive set of features. So basically it's really powerful, and it will provide you with a huge set of commands and features that can be used to easily analyze your data, which is pretty amazing. It can also handle really large data and very efficiently. So basically, when you guys work with really huge databases, this is the perfect tool to work with it. And finally, there is a great data representation. So basically it will represent data really in a great way. So it will offer you really streamlined forms of data representation. And there are many other things that, there are many other advantages of using Panda. I just didn't wrote them here. All right, so right now, guys, you have a small introduction to Pandas. So basically, you know that Panda is a tool that works, basically it's a software that works with Python. So basically it's an application inside of Python, and it's really used for data analysis. And in this part of the course, we are going to learn how to use it. So this way you guys will have an introduction and will be able to work in the future with Pandas. So that's it for this class, guys, and see you all in our next class.